Be like, okay,
Right.
well, we have a show and we have your own show.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, a lot of the cast members of Vanderpump Rules right now, we're seeing and hearing that they would rather be on the Valley, because it almost seems at this point that the Valley feels more like Vanderpump Rules than Vanderpump Rules actually does. Because you have Jackson, Brittany, you have Kristen, you have Lala and Scheana popping up here and there. What I think is such a power move is Stassi doing a deal with Hulu and not coming back to Bravo. I feel like that is just like, because they definitely tried to get her on the Valley. She said no. And she's like, no, I'm actually going to go to Hulu and I'm going to be in 2 shows. And that's how I'm going to get my bag.
Right. And it's a development deal. And, let's not forget you actually fired me and kicked me to the curb. And now I'm
Yeah.
going a different route. So, yeah, more power to Stassi. The podcast is back. There's another book. I mean, she took a beat, but I mean, she seems to be doing just fine. What do you think? See, I also think that you could take Vanderpump Rules and maybe have two shows in the sense maybe Katie and Ariana can leave and we can just do a whole something about her spinoff and Lisa can be there giving advice. And I mean, that could be about working there. I mean, granted, I don't think you have enough employees to really work there, but that we could call it something about her. And then we could leave Tom and Scheana and Lala and James and Allie. And then we could get some newbies, maybe just an idea.
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's kind of like what I was saying about Dubai. You just don't know how many people would be invested in that. You don't know how dramatic it could be working at a sandwich shop. When you work at a bar and everyone's young and hot and single, there's bound to be drama there. But like cutting up turkey sandwiches, I don't necessarily know how much drama there is to unpack there. And, to get a show off the ground takes a lot of money. So, what is
Yeah.
the network going to want to dump a lot of money into to ensure a successful season?
Yes. We would have Anne, though. We know Anne would be one of the cast
We do love
members,
Anne. We do love
right? Like, it's
Anne.
not the worst. I mean, Scheana apparently is filming part of the Valley or she's making appearances. Like, did you like the Valley? Just does it work for you? Did it not work?
I did like the Valley. I liked it a lot. And I think I had to eat my words because I was very skeptical about it for the same reasons I said before. Coming into the show, I was like, I'm interested in Jax, Brittany, and Kristen when they're around Stassi, Schwartz, and Katie. Like, I don't know how interested I am in these three in a totally different friend group where I don't know any of them. But I actually found the people, it was really easy to like understand the character, and their archetypes and all of these things where I didn't feel like it took me an entire season to understand who somebody was. Like Michelle and Jesse, right off the bat, I knew that there were issues in their marriage and it's going to make me want to continue to watch it. Janet, I immediately could recognize her as a bit of a pot stirrer and see how that is going to affect the season long term. So I just feel like maybe it was having, those vets in with them, Kristen, Jackson, Brittany, who maybe showed them the ropes or told them little tricks of the trade, but I thought it was really good. And I'm really looking forward to season 2.
Me too. And I think also that it's like a group of people that really truly knew each other. I think that's
Hmm.
part of it too. And yes, you can't predict like, a marriage falling apart, even though I guess it was falling apart in the beginning. And I feel Jax produces that show on camera before our very eyes. And just it all just kind of worked. Do you think I have been very vocal, although now I'm starting to eat my own words? Do you think Jax and Brittany, this is all real? Because I was very vocal that it wasn't. But here we are. And now she's saying that he's lying about donating his cameos to cancer. And it seems like maybe I'm completely wrong.
I thought the same. I thought there's no way. I thought the timing is way too coincidental. People love scandal. So, how are you going to get people to watch your show? And especially when you consider the fact that Jax is the one who pitched this show. So, Jax
Yeah.
is going to do what Jax has to do to make sure that it is successful and has a long tenure on the network, especially after he was fired and off TV for 3 years. And as we saw, in season 1, Brittany was the primary breadwinner. Well, we don't really know what Jax did for 3 years. So I also had that thought. And I'm like, I don't know. I struggled with whether or not Brittany would lie about something like that because you look at her and you just think, oh, she's not Jax. But at the same time, it's their livelihood. So I thought maybe they would do something like that. But as time goes on and how it seems like they're going in two opposite directions, even more so now, I too feel like I'm eating my words.
Like maybe I was too harsh on these two because maybe this is real, but the problem is I don't believe anything Jax does. And I almost
Nobody
say that
does.
as like a compliment because he did pitch the show. He tried to get it on the air forever. It's only greenlit because of Scandival. Nobody wanted it before. It was like, no, no, no. And then it's like, okay, well, Scandival seems to be working for everybody. Why not give you guys a try now? And it actually, I agree, it does work. I still will stand by. I think Kristen Doty is the best thing that ever happened to Vanderpump Rules, The Valley, Vanderpump, whatever it is. There's nobody like Kristen, but it does work. And I think like the other characters will be more developed in season two, even. And I do think Jax is off air saying like, oh, that, because the thing is like, what I love is like when there's a fight and Jax is just sitting there watching it, he and Kristen and Brittany, but especially Jax and Kristen, like they know. So like when Jax is sitting there, he's like, I don't need camera time. I don't care. I don't care if I'm in one scene.
Yeah.
Like the show needs to work. I mean, my check is the biggest. What do I care? Like he's good at sitting back and just saying like, that is great drama. I'm watching as a viewer and this is great. Just shut the hell up and don't say anything because
Yeah.
you don't need to. So I think like Jax and Kristen know how to make great TV and they're doing it. And like, it doesn't seem forced, even though I think they're very aware of what they're doing, which is a
And I
skill.
Yeah, I feel like we also just left on such a open door, with a bunch of different castmates. At the very end of the season, we started seeing some, not like anything crazy, but just some cracks in Danny and Nia, where, the whole time they were painted as like couple goals. And I still think they are, but we're seeing, a little bit of stuff that's not typically a couple goals. That, and then you have Jesse and Michelle actually split up. They're now dating new people. You have Jackson Brittany. So I just feel like there's such more story to be told to ensure a good second season.
That's what I think. And Jax, I don't know if you saw this interview, has gone on record of saying, like, you know how, like, last season you guys said, well, this is what was really going on. Like, why didn't we see that? And it's so scripted. Jax is like, there's none of that this season. I'm bringing it all out. If I know something about you, I don't care if it's like so dark and I shouldn't bring it on camera. I'm just going to say, the cameras are rolling. Stop giving us a different part of your personality. This is bullshit. This is what,
Yeah.
and he was kind of, I thought, implying stuff about like Danny. I thought that that's what it
Yeah.
was, and like I don't know, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Do you watch Orange County?
I do.